everyone in YouTube land, my name is Zeon, you are my remnants, and welcome to today's video. And today we're taking a look at a custom 1/6 scale Heath Ledger Joker that I did just recently. And what this is a repaint and modification of the Medicom Real Action Heroes Joker. I got that particular figure very cheap on Mercari. I think I got it for like 65 bucks or something like that. On eBay he's going for 100 something. The problem that I had with this, and it was new, or it was sealed at least, is the Real Action Hero bodies are notorious for breaking down over time, and that's exactly what happened with this particular figure. I opened him out of the box. I was planning on reselling him for profit, and I was moving his arms around and checking his legs for that reason. I wanted to make sure that this figure was good to go, and his shoulder and his leg snapped. Just from moving them. Nothing crazy, just checking the joints, snap. The reasoning for this is the joint system on the Real Action Heroes figures is poorly made. They're too tight. There's metal pieces in there, and when the joint's too tight and you try to move it, well, metal is gonna beat plastic every time, and the plastic breaks, and there goes an arm. So I was like, well, what can I do? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna turn this negative into a positive and do something that I haven't really done all that much, and that's paint a face. And in this case, we're painting a face that has makeup, the Joker. So I went ahead and I did some very simple things. Now this is by no means a professional paint job. I could have took more time and tried new techniques, but I just did things that I'm good at, and I tried to see where I got with it. And where we came from and where we ended up, I think ended up being really good in my opinion. So, and basically what I did was I went ahead and I painted some flesh tone color from Tamiya in the wrinkles, in the crevices, in the face lines, and I went ahead and began process of dry brushing white Tamiya paint over that and trying to get more skin to show through, because in the movie a lot of his paint is wearing out and you can see pieces of his face showing through. So, you know, even subtly, like around the scar area. Ooh, I need to cut my nails. In case you're wondering, that's paint in my nail from doing a ghost earlier. So more skin tone around the head specifically. He had a lot of wear in the crevices in his lines of his face where he would be smiling, things like that. Around the edges here, around the ears. And I also noticed in the movie is that he gets makeup in his hair, so you'll see some little bit of white in the beginning of the hairline here. So I kept repeating that process of painting some skin tone in certain areas and then dry brushing it so it shows through. And then I went and started adding some black and redoing the eyes. And I did that by first painting the black areas and then taking a bit of a stiffer brush with a little bit of thinner and kind of thinning it out around the edges so that it has that faded look. And also I did that a couple times, took some thinner, removed some, added some, dry brushed some white over that as well, just a little bit so it looks like that's fading too. And then I also went and I added some dark wash, or black wash in this case, in the crevices, in the lines on the face. And I think this is probably a bit too dark, a bit too maybe animated, I guess. Not as subtle as it should be. And then I went and I added the red. I also mixed some red with some flesh color, and I try to get a variation, but I think after all the repainting, it ended up looking just red and more black wash. I wanted to accentuate the scars, what little scar detail there was on the figure. So I repainted the hair green, And then I also went and I did a little bit of highlighting with a different green that I mixed up. And then I added a black wash throughout the hair. This figure has really good sculpting in the hair, actually. And I wanted to accentuate that with having 2 tones of green, because in the movie his hair is looks like he dyed it a bunch of times to get that color. So he has different shades of green if you really look at it. And then I wanted to add that black wash to accentuate the really great sculpting that the hair has. And of course, since the body was damaged, I had to get a new body. And I asked a figure group that I'm in, and they recommended this body. And I was really surprised that I didn't have to modify the boots or the hands to fit. Now, the hands are a little bit loose because the pegs don't fit exactly, but they're good enough. And I was able to get the feet into the shoes of the body and get the socks and everything, so that worked. The only thing I had to do was modify the head. The peg for the Real Action Heroes is smaller, so I drilled in a hole in the head, and thankfully the bottom of the head is a soft plastic. It might even be vinyl, and that was great to just get that back on the body. And his clothes are a little bit tighter than they were before, which, you know, I think ends up looking pretty well. And ultimately, I came out with a figure that I like a lot. I'm very surprised of how this turned out, being it was one of my first times painting a face, painting a 1/6 scale face, definitely. I've painted faces before on smaller scales, but not, you know, too crazy of an extent. And I'm by no means a professional painter. To do a professional 1/6 scale head sculpt requires a lot of time, a lot of technique, a lot of layers, a lot of patience. I'm definitely trying to learn. I will be doing a 1/6 Kylo Ren face sculpt. I have a Kylo Ren face sculpt with the proper scar that he had in Force Awakens, and not the stupid new one they gave him in Last Jedi, which makes no sense continuity-wise, and I hate that. So I have that. That's going to be like a crash course for me, and so there'll be a video about that eventually when I do that. But as far as this project goes, the ultimate thing was to salvage the figure, turning chicken shit into chicken salad. And I think we did that. We were able to get a new body that fits everything, and I was able to go ahead and repaint the face and get a better likeness out of this head sculpt. Now, another thing is the actual head sculpt isn't exactly that good for Heath Ledger's face, per se. So when after painting it, I was like, man, his nose looks kind of big, and this looks kind of off. And it's because the actual head sculpt is not the greatest. I definitely think the paint brought the face to life, and you know what? I'm happy with it. And at the end of the day, you know, it's going to go in my shelf, and it's really weird. Like, through camera, it looks alright. In person, without the flash and the lights, it looks better. It's always weird when you, like, look at custom work through the lens of a camera than with your eyes and in, like, natural light setting. Well, not natural light setting, but not, like, you know, a big flash on it or whatever. So, in the case, it looks really awesome. It's really weird. And I look at it on camera, I'm like, there's some things I could have done better, but whatever. I'm really proud of what I was able to accomplish with the limited experience I have doing this, so I'm okay with it. And I know I kind of rambled on, but I do that sometimes. But thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this repaint of this Metacom Real Action Heroes Joker. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more creative content. I'll be doing a bunch more figures, and I got some projects coming up that I'll be showing you guys. So subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if you want to support me, like I said, go ahead to Zeonremnants.com and get some awesome merch. Until then, thank you for watching, and as always, Zeek Zeon.